All right, well, let's see. How did I get started? Oh, it was very natural. You know, when I was a little girl, like all little girls, I liked to play and act like I was making witch's brew, or I was making mud pies, and I'd stir all this stuff up and I'd throw all this stuff in my pot. And oh my gosh, I just distinctly remember that. And then my grandma told me that she took me on a walk when I was like 3, and we had a wagon, and all I did was fill it full of pine cones and leaves and anything that was on the ground, and how happy I was. I'd always be clapping and just yay, you know, just joy of life. But then also, like, I was always digging for fossils. We were in Iowa when I was little, and I would always dig for fossils when we'd go swimming, and I loved it. I got a lot of the plants because they'd be in water sources, and of course in Iowa it used to be an ocean, and then like the limestone and everything, kind of all the dirt and all the just sediment fell on top of all these little creatures, and then they became fossils over time. And the same thing, you know, then we ended up moving to Kansas, and I'd find lots of crystals and shark teeth and oh, the sandstone, and oh my gosh, I'd collect all these insects and creatures, and you know, I'd always believe there were fairies and trees, and I'd just create little playtime. You know, I spent a lot of time alone, even though I had a lot of sisters and everything. It was just that way. And I mean, it wasn't alone, it's just I had a big imagination, and I had played with a lot of clay, and I made all kinds of things, and they all had their little lives, and I'd say goodnight to every single one of my toys when I was a little girl, and you know, everything was alive. And so as I got older, you know, I thought I'd be an artist, and then I had this gift of touch. And like my dad, he used to pay me 5 cents a minute to give him a massage all the time. Drove me nuts, because when I moved out, he gave my brother 10 cents a minute. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I learned a lot from that, and I always wanted to help people, and it's just part of who I am. And I think I have a lot of intuition. I think I get downloads a lot of the time about my people that I'm gonna see, like on the way over. When I always check in with them and see what it is that they'd like me to work with, and I'd say a good 90% of the time it's exactly what I've been thinking about. And so I feel like that is one of my biggest gifts. But as far as making products with the stuff I have, it's just another way of using nature, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I so believe in all the benefits of herbs, and I just really, I mean, if we could just go back to herbalism, I think that would be wonderful. But yes, okay, modern medicine, there is a need for that, and better life through chemistry, so they say. I mean, maybe. Seems to me chemistry causes a lot of side effects in the body when it comes to our modern medicines, but hey, we also have herbs to help those too. So, I'm gonna get back to you because I'm getting close to my client's house. I mentioned earlier that I've always been like this. I've always collected things. I've always mashed stuff up. I've always stirred stuff up, and mud pies and all that kind of stuff. But when I got serious, when I got real serious about what I was doing, and I began reading lots and lots of books. It was after I got my art degree and before I went to massage school. I think I gobbled up like 6 or 7 books in a short amount of time, and started thinking a lot about it. And then I just started collecting plants. You know, I started with seeds and tried to grow everything. And you know, this place we lived to was magical because there was like nothing here but our tall big trees, because they had cows, and so we could do anything we wanted to, really. And my husband must be a warlock, but I won't tell him that because he's so scientific minded. But I see him acting magic, and he's always after the good stuff. You know, he's a forager, He likes to go after mushrooms, gold. He likes to help me with my stuff. Rocks. We're always bringing rocks home. You know, line my beds with rocks. Yes. Love it. I don't know. You guys probably can't see too much out there. But something that I'd really like to get is, it's hard to say. I think maybe more like little animal shells. You know, I like the turtle shells. I like the locust shells. So that's probably something that I would like to hold on to. I really always was collecting reptiles and bringing them home. Snakes, horny toads, snapping turtles. I even put a snapping turtle in my pocket and got an airplane and flew from Iowa to Oregon with it. Before serious TSA issues. Yeah. Some advice I have: read books. Think about it. You know, start with a few crystals. Don't go crazy. It can be expensive. But get a book, you know, even if you just get it from the library, just start with a book, because that's the best thing to do. Knowledge is power. And, you know, you can also like take some classes or something, but start with books. That would be my biggest recommendation to do. And not just one, lots of them. Okay, first of all, our house isn't very big, and this is my wash area, but it is also my special little cubby. This is where I keep all my wonderful, wonderful things. Yes, indeedy. This is my apothecary. In here, I keep my herbs, my dried herbs. I store them in jars. We drink instant Nescafe and instant coffee, and I use those jars. They have great lids for everything, and that's how I keep my herbs. So some of the products that I have finished, I keep in other places, like shelf stable soap. I like to make soap. Here are my essential oils. I store them here. My crystals are all part of my apothecary. They just make me feel so good. They make everything right and bright. We hunt them, we find them, we craft CD towers for them. So right now, I store things in here, working on drying my herbs. These over here are my tinctures, the stinging nettle tincture. There you go. That's how I label them, nice and easy. Down here I have some oils that I've already strained and processed, and keeping those in this beautiful container. It's full of jars with all of my oils in here that have been strained. More drying. More things for processing. This is a big beautiful jar of soap I've made, along with Epsom salt bath mixes. Yes. Down here, this is all my stuff for my soap making. Just keep it in here. This is a cute, sweet little dresser that I store all my stuff for my salves and lotion making and more oil infusing. You need to get a supply. Supplies are helpful. It allows for making things when you want. Oh, goodness sakes. It's a little old. But there's the Cali girl. Yes, so my apothecary. Up here, I keep things like my labels and certain books that I really like, and some recipes and children's artwork, of course, and burner. Doesn't work too well, so I gotta kind of Yes, push it in a little bit. More supplies. Jars. Down here I keep some of the things that I've made. That's a plantain salve. St. John's wort salve for muscle pain. Yes, so I'm a massage therapist. I'm an artist. I'm a biologist. I'm an anatomist. But my day job is massage therapy. So in this beautiful thing, since it came from one of my clients, I store my sheets, my linens. We have smudge sticks from the garden we've made, dried flowers. I really, really love roses, so I keep the dried roses. Books are a must. Crystals. Goddesses. God. All the wonderful things. In our bedroom, I have lots of other crystals. Like, okay, that beautiful thing came from a cave in Wisconsin. My dad actually knocked it out, and he sent it to me in the mail about 30 years later. I embellished it a little bit. Some fun stuff. Just a little more crystals. I added some fire crystal to it, but I really enjoy having the crystal bowls too. Then of course I've got some soap curing, and this is a little hand sculpture that I made 10 years ago, possibly. And what I have here is a variety of herbs in oil and tinctures being made. Yes, so we have mullein in oil for ears, St. John's wort and vaga for just relaxation, but I also have St. John's wort and oils to use for muscles in here. And oh yes, yes, I'm gonna strain those out and get ready for the winter. I like to reuse jars. My labels are pretty plain. Date, what it is, what oil it's in, so I can help in calibrating my products that I like to make. So I believe that these guardians are part of my apothecary too. You know, the house is shrouded with herbs. I have them everywhere. Everywhere I go, I try to pick them up and bring them home. But the guardians are special. They protect us too. When it comes to labeling, I'm not too rigid. I put the name, the oil I'm using, or just the dried herb, the year that it was done. I do put the date on it for when I put it into the jar, if it's oil infused or if it is a tincture infused. I think that's important. I don't like to go too short on time, but going longer on time doesn't really bother me too much, so I'm okay with that. This is one of my favorite things that I have for protecting our home. They are elk antlers and a whale tail bone, my crystal ball, and another little bowl behind that of crystals that my family found in California. I've had that bone since sometime in the 90s. And I'm out in our cabin. My husband, excuse me, our daddy, he went hunting for horns and came home with elk horns. Incredible. One time the sun was hitting my crystal ball and was burning our carpet in the other room. So I moved that beautiful thing out here. This is one of my sculptures. I really like the cloaked head. It's like little garden guardians. They are definitely another one of my favorites. the transitional element of the butterfly, and then the ever-working hand. Another one of my faves. Yet again, transitional element of the butterfly, and the all working of the hand. KK and DK. I made this one for my little kids when they were little. Actually, they're big kids now. Young adults. She who watches the garden. This is my cauldron. Yes, indeedy. And it's full with a lot of horns that we have collected. We walk around outside by our cabin. There's several rolling hills that can like cut down really deep. We're up about 2,200 feet elevation, starting up from the Columbia River. And up there, when we get to the top, there are fields and fields that we would just transverse across them and hunt for horns. Yes, but my cauldron, I have always wanted one. I mentioned when I was little, I'd act like I had one in my little black plastic hat and put all kinds of stuff in it. But this one I actually bought for my birthday when I turned 49. I'm in my low 50s right now. But yeah, so I needed it. I wanted it. I had to have it. And it is very old. It is not in complete condition. There's a little crack in it. Somebody had a pot in it, but this is probably my oldest piece that I have. And I just feel so blessed to have it. It is very important to me, and I'd like to just look at it. Okay, that would be it. So how do I incorporate all of this magic into my life? So I like to smudge. One of the first things I actually started collecting was sage and making sage sticks, and I really think that's very powerful. I like to burn it in the garden when I'm out there. I like to burn it in the house. I smudge the house. I go through each room. I do it counterclockwise in the corners and in the house, and I sprinkle salt if necessary. I like to make barriers. Salt's good. Salt's real good. And let's see, this sage. This sage I find to be powerful whenever we are out in any type of different type of space. Sometimes I'll bring it with us if we go camping, and I'll burn it there. It's a very nice place, but I just like to burn it anyway. And when my sister died, I was in charge of her ashes, and we burnt a lot of sage. Sometimes when I have fires, I'll burn my sage sticks. Yeah, so that's one aspect, the smudging. Sometimes it's just good, you know, it makes you feel better, like if you do incense or whatever. But picking it myself and talking to it and making the bundles, and I just think that puts a special juju for our family into it. And then with my herbs, I talk to them, I sing to them, I love them, I water them, I dry them, I put them into the oils so that I can make the salves. Or, I mean, seriously, I have never experienced anything like plantain. It's fantastic, and I think it's more than that. I think it's the oil that I use, and also the raw beeswax, antibacterial, antifungal, and then all the other wonderful things that you can get out of plantain. So yeah, that would be the one herb that I would not be able to do without. Yeah, thank God it grows prolifically here in America. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess the spell work is more of a protection thing, and the herb work is more medicinal and more for the inside. I work on the outside. I've always made it part of my practice to not have any smells. I use unscented oils. I try to have my laundry to be done without smells. Sometimes it's just impossible because the oil does not want to come out of the sheets, and then it makes them rancid. Then that's embarrassing if you're giving a massage and the sheets stink. So that's kind of out the window. But when a client is enjoying a lotion or something that I've made with the essential oils, I don't back down out of that, because that's another form of magic and spell work. Outside of that, with my massage, I've had several alternative types of healing, not just regular get in there and work out those sore spots. Reiki, shamanism. Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, I just wanted to share that part with you too. As far as the rarest thing I have a snake skin in a jar. They shed, the snakes shed their outer layer when they start to get bigger, and as a gardener I find them periodically, not all the time, but when I do, I just love it, I love the reptiles. Another rare thing that's not too rare are the little tiny bird heads and mice heads, and after our cats take them out, they decompose and the little bones are left, and I think they're pretty rare for people. It's not so easy to find them, but on the farms they're more prevalent. It's my herb garden. I love my herb garden. This is where I get most of my stuff that I use for crafting. The soap making is a craft. The salve making is a craft. And, making herb bundles for smudging is a craft. And, I'm a full-time lover of all these beautiful, wonderful things, but I don't always have every single minute available to play with this stuff. So of course there is preserving and there is storing. So one of the ways I'm able to preserve is by making the soap. The soap is infused with my medicinal herb oil, and that's what I use. And then of course there's the lye, and then some kind of fat like a tallow. I really like using tallow. So that's one way to preserve it. Another is putting it in the alcohol, the vodka stuff. That's a good way to do it too. And then the jars, just leaving them in the jars. That's of course a wonderful way to do it too. And yeah, they don't last forever. So a good year is about what you get out of a lot of your herbs that are dried in a jar. Some of the old stuff, I have some special rubber type of lids that will keep it well tight. But yeah, storage and preserving. Make something and give it away or burn it up. So I'm pretty excited about this one. This is about hoping to collect for the future. Yes! Okay, next week my daughter and I are going to Greece. Yes. So, we're going to do a tour, and then we're going to be on our own. And when we are on our own, we have a scheduled expedition to go to pilgrimage and like hike down like the pilgrims do. We are going to go to Zeus's cave, the Corsician cave. We're going to hike up there, and then we're going to hike down to the Temple of Apollo and the Oracle of Delphi. Woo! So, I bought a deck of cards. My Oracle cards. It's my first Oracle card deck. I did have the Animal Spirit cards, but I think those were more Animal Spirit instead of Oracle type cards. So, Anyway, I'm bringing my cards with me, and I am going to bring them there. I'm going to carry them down the Pilgrim's Trail, and I'm going to put them at one of those temples, and by God's good grace, it's going to happen. And I will be getting those downloads into my cards so that I can be able to use those. So that is something that I'm searching for. That is something that I am truly hoping will happen. It's all set to go. We've got everything we need. Everything's paid for. It's as long as this next week holds out, we're going to Greece. So that's my future anticipation. But I feel pretty full. I feel pretty gifted. I feel very close to spirit. And yeah, there's not much I want for. I'm very blessed. So on a personal note, the most bizarre thing I have in my apothecary are my sister's ashes. She passed away. I love her very much, and I miss her very much, but to me it's very bizarre that she died. I mean, yeah, she had a real rough lifestyle. A lot of injustice happened in her life, but she did pass, and I just think it's bizarre. So I have that. Next to it is an angel that was given to me from one of my clients that passed. That's not as bizarre. She was 86. My sister was like a week or two shy of her 40th birthday. She was a year and a half younger than me. So I keep her close. That's not bizarre. Hi everyone, it's me, Gwendolyn Koken, and today I'm going to show you my apothecary. Yes, I am taking place in this hashtag of Show and Spell by Kara of Pagan Crafting, and I think it's a great idea. She suggested 13 objectives of the Show and Spell, and the first one I'm going to show you is my apothecary. There is a YouTuber, danusirishherbgarden. I really like her. Terry, I'd really like to see your apothecary. You do wonderful things. You have wonderful herbs. You've shown me very, well, a lot of things to do, like the soap and other things. You were a big inspiration to me, and I did buy your books. I got them ordered, and I would like to see your apothecary. That is the YouTuber that I'd like to see. And thank you, Kara. I really enjoy your stuff too. Thank you. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for putting this out here, Kara. It was fun. See you later.